All right. Mic check. More the Masters podcast. Your host, Main, of course. Back with another Thinking Out Loud. First and foremost, I want to thank all the supporters, listeners, people who share the podcast. In the past maybe week and a half, I've gotten a lot of phone calls, long phone calls, short phone calls, messages, just great feedback from episodes and podcasts, whether it was from my platform or Main and Slim platform. Just been good content all in all. So definitely shout out to y'all. Definitely want to keep y'all in the loop as far as like what how things gonna go, interview style. If you got somebody you want to interview, let us know, let me know, hit me up. But definitely thank y'all for the shares. The last Thinking Aloud did really, really well. I know I played around a lot, you know what I'm saying? My new, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to y'all for that. That's gonna be a drop from now on, and I definitely will continue to keep stirring the pot. As it pertains to more than the masters. I stir the pot differently on here than I do other places. So shout out to y'all for that though, for making the reels go up and sharing the reels and commenting and just giving feedback. If y'all did like that last episode though, and y'all want to see more like phone conversations or that kind of dialogue, let me know. I'll try to do I'll skip. I'll do a thinking out loud where I'm talking on just me on whatever, and then I'll do a thinking out loud where I'm getting feedback from listeners or audience or supporters or not supporters, whatever. Um, I'm down with that. So shout out to y'all once again. That was amazing. Um, Not that y'all upset about it, and no disrespect to nobody at all. And heavy on the no disrespect. Um, I don't have no local music for y'all today, but I do have my shirt on. This shirt right here is a No Excuse Team shirt. So shout out to Rick McGee with that No Excuse Team shirt. And I got this hat that I got from Most Elevated Deep. You know, Vanessa Harris is what I know her as. You know what I'm saying? But Most Elevated, uh, amazing spoken word artist, poet, I'm not sure what term they go by, but I do want her on the episode. I want her on the podcast um, yesterday. So I might tag her and post this. Vanessa Harris, most elevated. I need you on on the podcast. I might ask you to recite something. I don't know yet, so don't come here trying to be oh, it's not the stage. This is the stage. Quiet as kept. Let me talk my stuff right there, man.
Stop doing the bare.
This is the stage. This is the stage for that. Y'all know what that drop was. So I do want to get in some things though. In all seriousness though. So one of the things I want to talk about. Speaking of this being the stage, right? Um, you know, in media, you work really hard trying to make a name for yourself. Um, and however that looks, for certain people. But you work real hard at that, trying to make a name, trying to make a platform, a reputable platform, a respected platform, and something just so people know that's you when they see that. Uh, and I think I've done a great job at building and continuously building a platform to go different ways, different directions. And I know I have just from talking to peers, talking to um, fans or just or supporters of the show or supporters of podcasts. I know that the content that I've been attached to has been enjoyable, has been great, respected, and applaudable, and all that stuff, right? So, and that comes from just how I approach what I'm doing. So I approach this, when it comes to the guests, when it comes to the questions, when it comes to the type of content, whether it's gonna be serious, funny, sad, inspiring, motivational, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to all that, you gotta approach that a certain way. And I do that. I do my homework and all that type of stuff on things that I care about. With in it with in addition to that, so let's touch what Main and Slim is to media for me. Main and Slim is a platform where sometimes it's not on my radar to interview that person or to have a conversation with that person in a podcast form. It's not on my radar. It's not on my agenda for my next couple months or couple episodes. So that's not on the More Than Masters agenda. It may also as well not be on the sit down with Slim's agenda to sit down with these people or that person or entity, whatever the case may be. So then we created Main and Slim for that. Two, one thing was we do like to record together. So sometimes we just record Main and Slim, cool. That's how you do that. And then on the other flip side, when you think about the business side of things, people reach out, they want to sit down, cool. It's the price, they pay, they come on, we knock it out. That's that. Then we also have it where people reach out and maybe it's not a business venture that episode, but it's something that we are kind of interested in doing, or maybe interested in doing, or maybe one party like he might be super interested and I may be super interested, and we might not be at the same time, but that's the platform for that as well. So you'll see that in within those episodes as well. It's stuff we want to do, stuff we don't want to do, stuff we like to do, stuff we got paid to do. It's a mixture of that, right? But within that media, we still keep integrity within that. And I want to kind of make sure I say that part. So we do keep integrity within that. Integrity. All right. So integrity in media. Uh let's start off with here. Right. So shout out to anybody who love podcasts and any podcast that we've been a part of. Um, one of the last episodes on Main and Slim, uh, it kind of I don't want to say negative feedback. We got feedback from it. Let's say that we got feedback from that, and that's from multiple parties, right? And some people weren't happy about it. Some people was, whatever the case may be. I think it's important when you talk about media to add that people like to talk about whether things are true, things are false, and in media, I'm not going to, and I refuse to serve as a human lie detector test. Right? It's not my job to point out whether somebody's lying or not. It's not my job to know every single story. Like your homework only gonna go but so far. So my homework may go from okay, that person knows that person. That person has a relationship with that person. Maybe these two person had a fight. Maybe that person don't get along. To know those kind of things, to kind of shy away from things or to ask questions in ways maybe that person that I'm interviewing on the other side of this camera wants to dive into. It's on them. It's on them. The integrity piece is this: me knowingly knowing that if I ask you this question, something can maybe happen to you. Integrity. If you on a podcast and you say, man, if I see such and such kids, I'm gonna kill them. That's integrity wise. I'm not gonna put something like that. That makes no sense. But I think we have sometimes a false. Uh, I'm gonna say a false reality, but really, a false reality of what uh integrity with media is. I think sometimes people feel like the integrity piece is only when it pertains to make a certain person look a certain way. So somebody coming on a podcast and talking about something from their perspective, and maybe another opposing person or another person on the other side of it, or whoever watching it, maybe looking at that as a diss, or maybe looking at that as that makes me look bad. That's not an integrity piece on media. Like that's not my job to be like, hey man, such and such said this, you look bad. That ain't because that's just that person's perspective. It's not that it's false or that it's true or nothing like that. That's just that person's perspective. And I think perspective is a key word in media because just like somebody come up here and say, yo, this happened. We went to the park. This happened, and that's their perspective. They saying A, B, C, D happened. Cool. Somebody's perspective it could be totally different. It could be the same exact story, but totally different. Just key details, things they remember, things of how they felt. Somebody's perspective is just their view of things. Their view of that situation. And I think that what I seen in the last episode, which was the we had Ready to Be Accountable. What I seen with that was that people uh, didn't like their perspective on things and wanted to request certain things to happen. And in media, it doesn't happen that way. Now you can always, I say this, when somebody tells a perspective or something and you don't like it, and it's in a media world or whatever the case may be, whether it's local, big time, whatever, you have the power to change that because the way social media working right now, you don't have to come on a main stage to give your opinion on something or to have your side on something. It don't have to be a bigger platform. It don't have to be a big platform at all. You can go live, and I joke about that a lot, but seriously, it's too often I'm seeing where somebody isn't liking something somebody said in the podcast, so they like, oh, I want to come up there, and it's like, like, eh. To a certain degree, it makes sense, but sometimes it's just like it don't add up. Like, why? Like why? Go live, tell your side of the story. Cool. Plug the podcast. Hell, do me a favor. I'm the media. Plug the podcast. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving out great quality interviews, great quality content. You know, plug the podcast. Say what you like and didn't like about it. I like those. We actually had that. So shout out to my homegirl. You know, she didn't like some of the podcast. You know what she did? She made a response video to it. I thought the response video was well put together, well spoken, and that was that. You know, um, sometimes I think we try to I don't want to say create, we try to control the narrative, and that's not conducive to anything. I feel like trying to control a narrative is almost like saying, I don't want this out for a certain reason, you know, and you try to control that, and you just really shouldn't control the narrative. Like, let somebody's perspective be their perspective, and then if you feel differently, you address that. You address either that person, you can address it, and even if you do come on a platform. So let's talk about that, right? You come on a platform and you speak about something that was spoken about already. Cool, then that's it. But it can be, back and forth. Uh, another no, we're not doing that. We give y'all one shot and you go from there. You know, another thing, I think it has to be a level of fairness in media. So we talk about integrity, right? So obviously, let's say this for instance. I'm gonna kind of compare and contrast some things too when we talk about integrity in media. The director that shoots music videos. Matter of fact, shout out to Elmo. I had Black Elmo on the podcast, right? And I asked him this question. I remember asking him, I said, yo, so what happens if, you know, somebody wants you to shoot a video for them and it's a diss video and they going crazy, they dissing people that died, whatever, they dissing them. Are you gonna shoot it? And he was like, yeah. And if we shoot it, we gonna go all out. Cause that's the thing about media, I think people don't realize is that whether you're a videographer, a photographer, a podcaster, you interviewing, like our job is we are artists as well. And our job in media is to paint pictures. Anyway, any interview I'm doing, I promise you I'm painting a picture. I don't care what the narrative is. I don't care how fake somebody really is, but talking like they tough. I don't care how real somebody is, but talking or how fake somebody is, but talking like they real. I don't really care. My job is to paint a picture. I'm gonna paint a picture through these questions, guarantee. Because what happens is, in order to really have yourself look a certain way, you have to stay true to what you're talking about. And with any podcast I've ever done, any interview style I've ever done, I guarantee you, you go through, you read the fine print, you go through every question that I'm asked and go to every answer, and you'll see inconsistencies within within those responses. And that's my way of painting a picture. Like, I can't sit here and tell you, oh, this person's not real, this person's fake, this person's a liar. That's not my job to tell you that in me. It's not my job to preface any interview I do with this person's a liar, but press play. No. My job is not to judge if somebody's lying. That's not my job. My job is to ask questions and take a person's perspective and to paint a picture with whatever they give me. And that's what I do. I make something out of nothing a lot of times. And a lot of people in media do the same thing, which is why I kind of don't like interviewing like rappers and such a thing like that, because you have to make something out of nothing too much. And I don't like to do that. I joke a lot about why I don't like interviewing rappers. I can give you 10 reasons why I don't like interviewing rappers. Maybe that's the next thing I'm lie, who knows? But I don't care. That's me just, that's me staring the pot, you know what I'm saying? But in all seriousness, it's a level of professionalism you must have within this media game. So yeah, if a director's shooting a this video, who comes? Nobody should come to the director and be like, "Yo, I don't like the fact you shot that video. You should not have done that, or you know, take this down, or do this down there." Like that ain't what you would do with the director. As an artist, you make your diss record, you get your video shot, and you respond that way. That's artistry. That's just artistry, which I'm gonna talk about another thing in a minute when it comes to that, because I think it's hard to draw that fine line between like real life stuff, whether it's street stuff or just outside real life issues, and then like the artsy, side of things, whether it's you paint a picture, music, interviews, and things of that nature. And I think that line is not being seen. You have to draw a line somewhere between that, but a lot of times we don't draw that line. A lot of times we only want to draw that line when we don't look good on that side of things. So we want to draw the line when it benefits us or benefits a person. That's when you want to draw the line. That ain't fair in media. And being in media, you don't have to. But when you talk about integrity, I think being in media, you need to be fair. So whereas if somebody came on the podcast and said, and this it's a case by case basis. Somebody come on a podcast and talk about, which I hope they don't, but they come on a podcast and they talk about, hey, hey, I was raped at this time, blah blah blah, this that and third. And they start saying names, this that and third, whatever, and then telling their story, their perspective, right? Yeah, I'm probably not going to go ahead and have the person accused of doing this come tell me, hey, they didn't do it and tell me what really happened. Maybe I don't care about that person's side. That's an integrity thing. It's like, nah, I'm gonna let that person's perspective live and just go from there. Um, we try to bleep names out. We try to keep names out of things for that reason because you don't want somebody to feel like, their characters being defamated, or, all that type of stuff. So you kind of don't want that. But in all honesty, people grown, bro. Like it's media and people grown. Somebody say, "Now you gotta address that person, bro. You have to address the person talking." Like I've never this thing right here, this microphone. You know, you'd be amazed at what it does. You'll be amazed at what it can do. Rather, this microphone, man, it work wonders. Like, and I'm not saying anybody ever came up here and lied or didn't lie. People human. People lie. People, I guarantee you, anybody watching this has lied today, yesterday. People lie. We're human. It can't be my job to say, hey, hold on, stop the cameras. Hey, I need you to go ahead and tell the truth. That ain't my job, bro. I'm painting pictures. I ain't got time for all that other nonsense, right? So you think of it that way. You think of it in the sense of, you know, from an interviewer standpoint, how much control do you really have? I got control over what I ask, and I got control over, how I guide the interview. What I shy away from, what I egg on, what I stir up. Um, so I wanted that part to be known when it comes to media because we all media outlets, whether it's podcasting, interviewing, photography, videography, we all in that space where our job is our job. You know, the artist, the person that's really delivering that message, uh, it's on them to deliver it in a certain way. You're not that director that shot the video. Can't be mad at the director that shot the video. You can't, think that the director that shot the video shouldn't make their bread. Even if the person that's talking his rap stuff ain't even about it. That ain't the that ain't the director's issue. That's not his problem. Hey man, you rapping the street stuff, but you're not really about it. No. Pay my bread and get this video and let's get it done. That's business. I think podcasting now has gotten to a point where because it's so intimate, people relate with it differently. And that's cool. 'Cause I know people love and enjoy podcasts, right? And y'all relate to it a certain way. But this ain't no different than a video being shot, a picture being taken. This ain't no different than that. Like we don't come up here and go off a script. I mean, I don't. If the person on this side of the microphone is going off a script and talking, that's on them. I ain't got nothing to do with that. And I refuse to have nothing to do with it. I got asked this question the other day. It was like, if if something happened to whoever, and the last interview they did was, with you, how would you feel? I wouldn't care. I hate to say it like that. That ain't my problem. Like, like I remember academic. Now, egging on someone is different. But I remember academics doing the war in Iraq stuff, and people dying, this, that, and third. Chicago, before academics were doing that, Chicago was killing each other left and right, regardless. They still killing each other now. He's not doing that. They was killing each other when he was doing it. We like to blame that part of media on him. I get why people are upset. Maybe it add a fuel to the fire, but sometimes some things are gonna happen regardless. People like to use certain things as an excuse to why something happened. So you might want to use, hey, they said that on that platform or that interview as a means to now handle your business or do whatever you feel like you got to do. But if you were gonna do that anyway, that don't matter. People People not dying over a video being shot. No, they had odds already. That's gonna happen regardless. This music is just adding fuel to things, but things are gonna happen anyway, right? It's not media's job to go ahead and keep the peace. You think you now I get media can egg things on. Definitely media can keep stirring stuff up. But this is my problem with that, with the stirring stuff up thing. So and for me, of course, there's certain situations that I'm talking about here, but I'm thinking about in general, you can't you gotta be consistent even with your what you project. What you mean by that? All right. So you go on a platform, you talk about certain things, certain situations, right? If you go on platform, you talk about certain things, situations, you can't expect, and if people are involved in this, you cannot expect a person that's involved to go on other platforms and not talk about that same situation. I feel like perspective is perspective. I feel like everybody deserves the floor. If it's a debate, it's a debate. If you going back and forth, you're going back and forth. But everybody deserve a floor to tell their side. Now, person A side and person B side could have the same exact message, but it's the small details that matter. It's the stuff that you forget when you're telling that story because you're so emotionally involved and attached to a story, you forgot that part. Or it's you not looking too good if you say it a certain way, like it really is. So you be vague and you kind of talk around it, or you leave a certain small detail out. So the small details matter when you putting them in and when you taking them out. Both matter. But that's the difference between person A's perspective and person B's perspective. It be them small details. They can have the same exact story, but them small details matter, right? And you just can't expect for one perspective to just overpower the other like that. No, that's for the people to decide. And I feel like if people can't decide, that's controlling the narrative. So if you once you start trying to control a narrative, I think and me immediately, I know I question that long. I'm questioning why somebody wants to control a narrative. Why not? Why can't both sides be out? Why can't this exist and that exist and people just pick for themselves? Like why are we forcing uh a narrative to be pushed and it's only can be this way. It has to be this way. And I think that's but I'm in media, and I know that some people not in media, but that's that fine line between like real life stuff and whether it's street stuff, real life stuff, and like then the 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 artsy side of it. You podcast and stuff. Uh so rap is that vague rap is that that's why I hate rap. It's that vague section where like you got people who are actually talking about it's a funny game, man, because it's funny, like, because I've heard stuff over the last week. People say, "Yo, this is evidence. This podcast, this interview is evidence." You got people got songs saying, "If you do this, I'm gonna kill you. If you look at me wrong, I'm gonna shoot you. If you wear these colors, you are op. You gonna run down on you. We're gonna do a drill if it's about da da da." Like, so that's not evidence, But somebody's saying 4 or 5 words, like I don't like. It's just rap is so weird, and that's why I always try to stay away from that. Not that I care about it. It don't really do nothing for me personally. I have more success doing other things, but that's my reason why too. It's not conducive for me because it's so much intermingling factors in rap where and it's inconsistent. It's very inconsistent. I guess for one, because most people that's talking about the stuff ain't really doing the stuff they talking about anyway. So that's number one. Number two, it's all perspective. You thinking you tough is perspective. Like people will say stuff like, yeah, I ain't never caught a body, but I mean, if it come down to it, I'll do it. That's perspective. So now you feel like, well, if you'll do it, you can talk about it. It's all perspective. It's all that's intermingled, intertwined. Whatever benefits it's a whatever benefits me kind of industry. That's what rap is. Rap is whatever benefits me. So if it benefits me to look at something this way, so I can talk about it, cool. Just like right now, we talking about people tattling and snitching and stuff like that. So a couple months ago, people might have said, Gunna was a rat, stand third. He made some good music. Now it's like, what benefits me to listen to his music? Let's just say well, if I was in that situation, I would have done this. So you kind of spin that narrative now to say maybe he's not a tattletale, maybe he's not a rat, to make you feel like it's okay to listen to music. So it's benefiting you. right? And that's why I'm always like had a disdain for like not rap. I love rap music. Don't get me wrong, but rap music is better when you don't know people. And I'm not opposed to listening to local music. I love local music. I love music from people that I know. Mainly if like some, and I'm fair and consistent with my takes. I've always said it's not that I don't like music or rappers, but I like rappers to be about what they talking about. That's the music I resonate with the most. If I can, when I can feel it, and if I know you're not and I see it, that's even better. But I like for rappers to be about what they talking about. It's something about being true to the words you're spitting on a instrumental. Something about being true to the words you spit, whether it's spoken word. It's something about that that makes me like the music, makes me identify with the music, resonate with the music, and I've always been that way. And I think you kind of get in this media game, you get away from that sometimes. You get away from the fact that rap is like WWE. I think it's wrestling. It's fake. It's scripted. It's a show. It's love and hip hop. It's reality TV. You know, like it's an image. It's a portrayal. That's rap now to me. Like nothing about it is real. Like nothing about it. Like nothing. Literally like nothing. And even on a lower level, I mean, you see it at the big level, but you see it more on low level, and everything is emulating. So whether it's a lower level, low tier, high tier, whatever, it's all the same. It's all the same. You hear interviews all the time when rappers say, "Yeah, I was broke during this time, da da da." But the music at the time they're making didn't say they were broke, but they were broke. And it's the same thing now. You got people talking like they selling a lot of work. They ain't doing that. They doing this. And I'm telling you, go to the interviews that when I interview rappers. Go to the interviews when I talk to rappers. Listen to their responses, what they're saying. Listen to their music. Very inconsistent. Listen to the stuff they talk about in their music. Listen to the answers they give me in interviews. Very inconsistent. And I'm not dissing rappers. Like, shout out to y'all for doing that. Right? Inconsistent. I would make a point when you talk about media and integrity. I think media. Let me not say that. I speak for myself. When it comes to media, I got more integrity in my media than any, whether it's local or rapper that I ever known or anybody know the rap has within their music. And I know I do. And I'll be willing to bet my life on that. I got more integrity with media than any rapper I know, whether it's local or whatever, global, I don't care, has in their music. And I know that for a fact because I know myself. And that's not a perspective. That's just the truth. Very consistent takes, very consistent ideas, very consistent approach. I'm always gonna be on that consistent side and fair side. That's how I am. So yeah, that's just how I am. When it comes to media though, like in all seriousness, like I think that from a consumer standpoint, people consuming podcasts and media, gotta be aware of this stuff. Like people lie. People lie. People tell stories. People also don't lie. People have perspective, and people have recollections. People have their view of things, and person A view of a situation and person's B view of a situation may be totally different. Person A may not be lying, and person B may also not be lying, and that can happen. You can have two total different perspectives, and neither party be lying. That's how you view it, and that's how that person views it. It just so happens y'all view it totally differently. Them small details is where the truth is at. Them small details. And when I ask questions, it's certain questions that it it brings you to see the inconsistency in a previous question. Sometimes I go like on a 7 question rotation where I'm asking these 7 questions the first 15 minutes. I'm asking a different seven the next 15 minutes. I go back to the first set of 7 questions, ask them a different way in those 15 minutes. And when you see the inconsistency, there, I'm like, okay, cool. That's the picture being painted. I paint pictures. That's my job. My job is to paint a picture. My job is not to be the guesses. My job is not to be the guest friend. My job is not to be the guest therapist. I don't care how therapeutic the podcast sound. That's my job. I may serve as one for that person. That's that person's perspective. But me, I'm always gonna say I'm painting a picture. I'm not gonna say I'm a therapist. I'm not gonna say that. I'm never gonna say I'm not even calling myself an interview no more. Don't call me an interview no more. Like, hold on. Nah, nah. Well, we'll use that. Fuck it. So, PSA, bro. Don't call me an interview no more. Right? From now on, I am a artist. I paint pictures. I paint pictures with my interviews. I paint pictures with the questions I ask. I paint pictures with the quality I put out. Do not disrespect me by calling me an interviewer. I may not want to be called a podcaster no more. I'm not sure. Cause I think that's a different category. I paint pictures. I'm an artist now. I paint pictures with these interviews. I use your words and your stories and your perception, your perspective, your view of things, and I make colors. I make them bright. I make them dull. I blend them. That's what I do. I paint pictures. I don't want to be labeled as an interviewer no more or just a podcaster no more. The podcaster side comes from this, and I can go too deep into that. I'm not no super gangster gorilla tough guy like that. I'm not that at all. Trust me. I'm not. I'm a cool, calm, collective dude who stay to himself and do his own thing. However, I think in media sometimes the media side of things get looked at as like, okay, media now is like when you was young and people like was nerds and played with like Pokemon cards or something like that. I think that's how people look at media. And I think that's how they approach them or address them. So I want to make sure I also say that here, like going forward, if it wasn't even known, like don't don't approach me as a podcast guy. Don't approach me as such, whether it's via phone call or whether it's via messaging, whether it's in person. Approach me as a man only, and a man only. That's it. If you're not gonna approach me as a man, then just don't approach me. Cause going forward, like it ain't gonna be good for anybody, myself included. Like we not doing that. So approach me as a man and a man only. Don't approach me as a podcaster. Don't even approach me as an artist. I am one, but don't approach me as such. I want to be approached as a man and a man only at all times. Friend or foe, don't care. So make sure that's out the way. Um, yeah, I just think like in media though, like we have to kind of draw the line on what's real, what's not real, what's accepted, what's not accepted, and being what's the wrong one? Being secure enough in ourselves to be okay with having a different narrative out there and letting people decide what's the right narrative. I would say that. I want people to, if you don't get nothing from this podcast, definitely get that. It's integrity in media, but you got to be fair as well. So for me, it's a certain level of integrity I'm gonna hold. I'm not gonna sit up here and have somebody that's talking about touching kids or whatever be on a platform. I'm not gonna do that. No. Why am I gonna give that person a platform? No, I don't need that person's perspective. I don't want to paint no picture with that, you know. But somebody claiming a name or something, you know, long as it's it within my integrity phase. If you got charged with like rape or something, I'm not into that. We can talk about it like privately, but I'm not into that being a platform. It's just certain cases. It's a case by case basis. So it's certain things that I'm willing to have somebody come on and clear the name of because I know what it means, and it's certain things I'm not because I also know what that means. But also I'm very fair. So just like I would let somebody clear the name off, whether it was telling, snitching, or whatever, I'll let somebody also come on here and say, well, this is why this person did it. This is why I feel that way. And them two narratives it won't be on more than the masses, but it'll be on another platform. And I don't know about being a mainstream at this point because I got some thinking to do on that because what I don't like is wasting my time when it comes to media. And because I think the quality is too high. The quality of everything I'm doing is too high to ever waste time doing episodes that I can't that I not that I can't, but that I don't see value in clipping up and putting out. And that's very rare, right? Um, something an episode starting problems is fine with me, but like I said, it's one of them things where in media, uh, we have to just accept certain things, and I have to accept that everybody isn't going to like everything one of the guests says on the show. You're not gonna like it. It may hit different for you because you know the person. It may hit different for you because you was in a situation. It may hit different for you because you heard s- a different perspective on that situation they're talking about. It may hit different for you because you've been in that situation and you've been on the other side of what this person may be saying. So you are devaluing everything they're saying anyway. So it's different reasons why something somebody says on this platform or on a platform or behind a microphone will hit different for you and make you feel away. Understood. But at the same time, everybody has to get their chance to have the floor. So whether it hit different for you or not isn't as important as it is that picture being painted and then people viewing that canvas for themselves. And it's just that simple. It's just that simple. I wouldn't mind doing Thinking Out Loud for the rest of my life if I had to. I just make sure I make every single 1 hour have certain topics. I can do that with no problem. But I like putting on for the city. I like painting pictures of the city. Whether even if it's rappers, I know I don't like rappers, but even if it's rappers, even if it's R&B artists, even if it's spoken word artists, I don't care what you do. You got a business, you know what I'm saying? You fix cars, you wash cars, you wash houses, you know what I'm saying? You cut grass, you sell grass. I don't care. Like I like to paint the picture of the city through that lens. The lens you're looking at right now. I love painting pictures of the city with these microphones, that lens, this nice quality, this nice sound, this lighting, this video. I like doing that. I don't like doing it and not being able to continue to show you glimpses of this painting I got, which are clips, reels. I don't like doing that. That's I don't like that. But it's too much. It's too political. So I'm gonna have to start to look at interviewing and look whether it's Main and Slim, what podcast I go on or whatever, because it's politics and everything. Whether it's street politics, real politics, it's politics and everything, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with knowing that. But what I'm not gonna do is though, and I am with this. What I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna be on that side on the side of things where street politics or life politics, outside politics, gang politics, whatever. I don't care what kind of politics it is. I'm not going to be on the side of politics where only only this me is being affected. I'm not doing that. So going forward, we have to be consistent with everything. So if I've seen people talk about situations on other platforms, then you should be free to talk about it here. I can't help it if I paint a better picture than the average person and that picture looks a little too vivid. That ain't my problem. That ain't my problem. But also going forward, I'm about to make people sign stuff and anything like, because I don't want people saying things that I want people behind this microphone, like me here is me. I'm gonna say the same thing off camera, on camera. Anybody tell you that? I'm gonna say the same exact thing. Anybody who spoke to me on the phone, I'm gonna have the same exact tone. I'm gonna crack the same amount of jokes. It's not a script. It's called Thinking Out Loud for a reason. I come here with no notes. I just turn the camera on, and I go. I don't have no notes. I don't have no rhyme or reason. I have an idea I want to get out, and I go ahead and do that. That's me being me. That's not me being scripted. If I had a list in point A, point B, that'd be different. But I don't have that. I don't know how this gonna go when I come here. Sometimes that's the best. That's the best episodes I have. 'Cause when I leave here, sometimes I'm confused. I ain't gonna lie. Every now and then I go off topic. I get confused. I'm like, damn, where you was going with that? I don't know. That's me though. I'm a confusing person. Even when I'm in real life, I'm hard to read. I'm confusing. And when I speak, I know I speak very fast and I don't finish words sometimes. I told myself I'm no longer stuttering, man. If I can't get the word out, I'm skipping to the next word. Man, clap it up for me, man. Bruh, I am not stuttering no more. Like, I'm sorry. If I can't get the word out, it's on to the next. You better figure out what it is. I don't care. That my stuttering days are done. Hopefully. I say that I might stutter the next couple of words. But yeah, I'm done with that. So But yeah, I want to make sure the media. I don't want to be the only person ever like being like, hey, yo, I seen the interview. I did that. No, I don't want to be that. If in media we're gonna decide whether it's locally, street, I don't care. If we're gonna decide, listen, we won't speak on situation A, then that means when I look at other platforms, everybody needs to be skipping over situation A. If that's cool, then cool. What's not gonna happen is this platform isn't, especially when no disrespect to anybody else, especially when I feel like this platform, and it's just me thinking, me talking. Y'all talk on y'all own. I'm gonna talk my talk on mine, right? It's just me. Especially when I feel like quality wise, I got the better quality. I got the better content. If I feel like that, I got the better questions. Like this is that. When you talk about the stage, this is the stage for the things I'm talking about. We not going, we not going, you know, try to cancel the stage, but let people talk in the parking lot, let people talk outside, let people talk in the line. I mean, no disrespect to anybody platform. I'm not saying that, but we're not gonna do that. Like it needs to be fair and consistent. So we ain't gonna talk about it. We ain't gonna talk about it. In this way, everybody on one accord, everybody on the same page, and the playing field is level. I can't help it that I just play at a high level at all times. I don't believe in sprinting. I'm always running. All right. I don't believe in just warm up shots. No, we shoot. We be shooting to win. We playing to win. All right. I'm gonna play at a high level at all times. I don't care what it is. I just got mad the other day. I should start podcast with this, but I got upset the other day, man. I had an opportunity to really eat everything that was on my plate. Anybody that know me know what I'm talking about. But I'll say it just to. I had an opportunity the other day. I had a presentation I had to present in front of a bunch of, I'm gonna just say, rich people, right? Me and somebody else. I did well. I did very well, actually. Did very well. I feel like maybe the other person did very well as well. I feel like I left food on my plate though. That was my problem with. I had a rough day that day. I couldn't come to I talk all the time. I present. I'm presenting right now. I feel like I'm supposed to really show that separation, and that's why I felt the way because I play at a high level at all times. I've been doing it every time they put me up against these people. I'm a black man, young black man too. Put me up against these people. I'm doing a great job. I'm killing them, killing them, killing them, killing them, killing them. And then one time, this is a opportunity that I should have really just took because I do this day in day out. All I do is speak, and I feel like I left food on my plate. I feel like I ate more than that person, but I left food on my plate, and I should have left food. I should have licked my plate clean, so it could be no second guessing on who's who. And I feel like I didn't do that. I played at a high level at all times. So when I say that to say just to make sure I got everything I needed to get out. When it comes to like the podcast and then talking about situation, whatever the case may be, if it's gonna be stated this ain't the topic you're talking about, cool. But like I said, I'm not. It ain't my job to tell somebody what they can and can't talk about. It ain't my job to protect somebody else's name or image because somebody else on the platform feels a different way. Uh, I feel like when that happens, you got to call that person and talk to that person. I feel like sometimes we use media as the scapegoat because, like I said, people look at media a certain way or they look at media as if, uh, you know, you can strong arm whatever. This ain't that, and anybody will tell you that this ain't that. You know, I don't care if it take 4 or 5 hours of a conversation to get to some point. I need something if you need something. Like I'm gonna need something. And so what I can say is I don't care about the street politics as much as the average person does. It really don't affect me or bother me. I'm a I'm always by myself. I'm always doing what I gotta do. And I'm gonna continue to do that. And I'm gonna continue to paint pictures. I'm gonna continue the high level of content just like this one that I'm putting out. And I'm gonna continue to tell y'all the rules in this media thing because I know rules change as we go along. But the rule gonna be we ain't talking about A, then we ain't talking about A. It's not, hey, everybody can talk about A, but these big platforms, y'all shouldn't talk about that because y'all got too many eyes. Like, no, we ain't doing that. No, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. So, but I'm cool with also. I wanna I wanna say this. So when you say integrity and things of that nature, I will say this. I feel like you should always reach out to the person that says some things. But if in an event that you have to reach out to, whether it's me or whether it was the interviewer or the person that, that's asking the question or the person that owned the platform, and you have to do that, integrity wise, if somebody literally tells me, and I never been told this ever at all, never been told this before, but if somebody was to tell me, hey, yo, such and such was on this, that, and third, your platform, blah, blah, and I'll be honest with you, man, I'm about to do something, that, it's a good chance I may be able to, try to come to an agreement so that something don't happen to a person. I will do that. Like, would I feel like it's on me if something happens? No, I don't feel like I don't hold that decision ever. If somebody want to do something to somebody, they want to do something to somebody. It's not gonna be a question that I asked or a response that somebody else gave or a video that I uploaded. It's not gonna be that. It's not. That's not gonna be the reason why something happens to somebody. Something's gonna happen to somebody because somebody's gonna do something to somebody. That's just that. It's just that simple. All right. They say guns don't kill people. People kill people, and I believe in that. It just happened to use the gun. You know, but if I was gonna kill a person, I'd probably use a knife, use anything else. So I'm not gonna just blame the gun if that makes sense. So you know, yeah. Once again, man, no music, but definitely got the hat. Most elevated deepness. Shout out to her, Vanessa Harris, and the No Excuse Team shirt. You know what I'm saying? Got the cream shirt on. I like this shirt. I don't know if you're gonna see the words because of the light, but yeah, man. Media, man, it's definitely a funny game. But honestly, and the last thing I'll say is, I think people look at a lot of media as just only media. The media game changed so much in the last 10, 15 years that, you got people that really got a background that really don't, they ain't what you think media is. Like, media used to be like maybe a nerdy guy, maybe a soft person you could slap around, whatever the case may be. That ain't media all the time. Like, you got killers. You got killers. That's media. You got people that'll put you in the ground that does media. You got people that done put people in the ground that's media. So you can't approach everybody with media as if they're just media, because some people ain't media, and that's why we got that thin line and what can be talked about, what can't be talked about, because everything's so intermingled now that media ain't just media anymore. You got street media. You got uh, soft media, hard media. You got so many different forms of media because it's just open to the public now, which I'm happy for. I would never tell anybody not to start their own platform or whatever the case may be. Do your thing, but just realize that it's different levels. Things change, not the same was 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, and don't look at everything as Breakfast Club. And then that's a problem. Like, people look at Breakfast Club. Okay, well, Charlamagne got ask a question, but he kind of soft because he got punched. Da, da, da. I hate to keep, I don't even talk about something like that, but even in that, like, the guy that did that is dead. And it's like, in the media, we don't come on here and say, I'm not gonna come here and be like, oh, I spoke to this rapper and they said this to me, but yeah, I G checked them and did. That ain't my job to come up here and tell y'all that. My job is to ask questions. I don't care how you view me. You could view me as super soft, cotton soft. I don't care. Just respect me as a man. Like, you could view me how you want to view me. Just don't let it show you view me that way. And when you talking to me. That's it. I never cared about none of that stuff. I'm gonna laugh it off and joke and all that stuff. But just be respectful. Don't look at people as just media sometimes, because that ain't what the media that people knew ain't the media it is now. Just like, well, rap has always been kind of fake, so but at one point, rap was kind of real, right? There wasn't WWF or WWE. It wasn't no wrestling. It wasn't no scripted stuff. It was for real, which is why we got legends and things of that nature that have died. Things were real. It ain't that no more. So don't look at media as just media, but also don't look at rappers as just rappers. Don't think that rapper talking crazy gonna protect you, because they might not protect themselves. To be honest with you, But that's enough. I ain't gonna. I be going too hard. Right? Let me stop stirring the pot. You know? But seriously. No. Motor Masters podcast be out. I think that's enough. 50 minutes is good enough. Look, man, it's media. Uh, right now, I like what I'm doing in media. I'm gonna always continue to do it. Uh, I would say this, man. Any guests come on, be mindful of what you say. Because I'm not going to uh feel like I need to protect people for saying things that they don't have to say on here. Like they could say whatever. They don't have to say names. They ain't got to be detailed. They don't have to lie. But I'm not going to serve as a human lie detector test. I'm not going to serve as a therapist. I'm not going to serve as a counselor, a best friend, a police officer, a firefighter. You know, I'm not serving as none of those things. I'm not even the greatest U.S. citizen. I don't pledge allegiance to the flag. I don't stand up for the national anthem. Like I don't do these things as a U.S. citizen. You know, my job is not to make sure that all my guests are protected. I got two people I gotta make sure I protect my life. Okay, two people. So when you come on this platform, say what you gotta say, but realize your words are your words. Because going forward, we ain't having no kind of mishaps or situations about nothing. Okay, okay. Mic check, mic check. Let's get it.